Welcome, people. Thank you for coming back to another episode on the pod. On today's episode, we have Clement, Techlead, Ubong, and Dejavu Ayomide. On today's episode, we touch around topics of Vision Pro, the idea behind it, why I think it's shitty or not, and also why Figma is becoming overcrowded as a tool. So many unnecessary things to do and not to do, and designers also being called overcrowded. Kind of an overcrowded discussion. Couple with why Clement stabbed his interview with Kuda. I can you imagine somebody having an interview with Kuda and say he will not go for it. Anyways, as you listen, may you be blessed. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. This video is produced by Inkem. Peace. Clement, I was like, the newest thing that you've been doing, you said just product design. I was like, nothing else, nothing shiny.
Yeah, I've been working on creating design systems from scratch, very complex design systems. I wanted to create something for a project I was working on for a client, just like an extra. So I just thought this would be a nice option for me to learn the intricacies, deeper parts of how design systems work and apply it to the project. So currently, I'm just learning about the basics of design systems, and from there I go on to the advanced parts.
Has it been hard? Like, have you found it difficult?
No, I got some resources from
Okay.
KD. KD has gone a good distance in that topic, so he shared a Notion file where he documents his processes and everything. So I use that as like the baseline foundation, and so far it's been helpful.
So like, I think that's a good segue to what I want to say next. But like, let's pause. Dejavu, the newest thing we use, you are making more of these animated videos. Is that a thing you have plans to keep making more of, or is it like, as a spirit lead?
Well, to be honest, I feel like it's more of as the spirit leads, right? But personally, what I actually want to go into is game design. Majority of these things I'm actually doing, I feel like they are pathways to it. They're like along the routes kind of thing that you pick up heading towards your destination. Here you get so, and the way the world is going, the world is moving. You've noticed that I'm also dabbling into conversational UI, right? So I believe that at the end of the day, with the way the world is going, the way the world is moving, the games might actually like AI powered. I want to believe so. Right, so I'm just trying to like what I can right now before it reaches that point. So you get what I'm trying to say. So my end goal is to game design. Nothing has changed about that. So animation was something I picked up before I even came into product design. So yes, that's so I would say it's a final destination.
Can't be like say also they do product design. You know, you look into the future. Oh my god.
It depends on how you want your career
I
path
want my
to
own
take.
to be shiny.
That's why, and it depends on what do you want to dabble in. Like, what's your end goal? Then from there, you plan your route, you plan your path. That's what I actually did. And all those ones I was doing with Webflow and all was just to learn. I've always wanted to learn how to develop websites, right, for my own personal portfolio. So I started with HTML, the normal basics and all, right, before I got into Webflow. Not because I wanted to be a no-code developer or something like full time, right, but because I just need to have that knowledge. So you get so I don't get lost in that conversation of when people are talking about coding and all. I'm not looking like a fool now.
Hey Clement, you used to write code. Are you ever going to go back to write code?
Yeah, there's a possibility that I return, but it won't be anytime soon.
Guy, why
It
did you
won't be
leave?
anytime soon.
Like, you know what they say now. You know what they say. A developer that came from coding to designing is a failed what? Is a failed
I
developer.
say, guy, is it that you?
That's what they
Is it
say.
that
If
I
you're a
say?
developer and you come to design, you're a failed.
Not necessarily.
Is it that you did not understand how to write the code again, or like the code was not understanding you or
I
something?
disagree. No, I felt design was
Oh,
easier to like break into tech fast. I didn't start tech just for what you guys, some would say I joined tech for the passion of clinic and whatever. I wanted money, fast money,
cultist.
you understand? So yeah, I started coding. I started coding and the money was coming, but it was slow and over a long period of time, spaced out. I was like, I can't continue like this. Let me see what they have in design for me while I still code, though, you understand? So I said, let me learn small design, and the gigs started coming faster.
So you use design to money laundering scheme.
I say,
No problem.
Normal.
use and shine.
And my first job was a design job. It was not even up to 6 months.
Are you serious?
So I was like, so what am I coding for when this is a faster avenue? You understand? So I just kept coding on the side and let me continue with this one. when I'm very good, when I don't know how you guys define very good, but there's a certain level I'd reach where I'd say I'm comfortable with my skills in product design. Then I might return to mobile development to just add it as a skill. But the main focus will be what is giving me more money.
Yeah, I think I'm seeing like there will probably be a wave of people who are like changing between development and design. I think it'll be more of designers moving towards development aspects. A few will make it through. I pray I'm one of them. But I think that's something that may happen like a year or two from now. Because I don't know. This I may edit this part out of this podcast to avoid contradictions. But like guy, I feel we don't plenty for this space. Like we don't too much. I
Bro, what do you mean? Don't edit this scene. Oh, it's the fact. Say it as it is, bro.
see
Say to it.
Don't plenty.
today, I mean yesterday, I was coming from my campus in Ife, right? Because I went to school to like do my papers for like, make a final clearance shit now. As I was coming, you know that Oduduwa head that they used to post everywhere. Like if you do search Ife online, you see one Oduduwa head in the middle of one roundabout.
Yeah.
On the head,
Yeah,
the barrier that the head is like this, they carry banner UI UX training for like they put learn UI
wow,
UX on the banner
nice one.
in front of the Oduduwa head. People traveling through Ife, out of Ife, everybody in Ife. At this moment, when they say that video, it was at this moment you realize, fuck no. Then I'm like, I will not be this.
That's fact.
I won't be here with you people again.
But you know, the thing I realized, I realized that yeah, there's saturation. There are a lot of flocking into the space, but if you know Sabi, you know Sabi. And a lot of companies now, they only hire those that have some real industrial experience and not just some bootcamp children. No one is hiring bootcamp children anymore. That's my personal observation actually, yeah. And personally, I've also like observed because I do send some job recommendations to some of my mentees for some testing purposes. I also apply sometimes. I notice they don't make it, and I make it through with a least amount of effort, just to see where where there might be some
Clement
loopholes
be
or flaws. And
Clement be like,
oh,
you be like all those children, all those people that they oh god. You go give small pikin something, cause the cut half.
no, I don't end up taking the
But
job. Yes, I just want
which
to
wetin
see.
you wan see? You wan
You
test
understand?
yourself to see if I go fit. Abeg add me under your mentee abeg.
So, yeah, I still believe that. No, no, you're my
um
boss. I still
I
learn
no
work.
sabi shishi o.
Learn
Na
work.
grace we dey use dey move dis thing I no sabi.
But the fact is that there are a lot of designers.
Dia e turn abi too
So
much probably.
the most intimidating ones are the ones that come from graphic design. Those ones who just come with their UI skills and scatter everywhere. 1 month, 2 months. Like this fraud on the call called Dejavu.
Dejavu dey dey call you fraud.
Where did this guy go to?
Let's go to the next topic. Let's not waste much time. Complexity is like complexity in design softwares, right? So if you look at the softwares we use, if you look like Figma, when we were using Figma earlier when we started, it was not as complex as this. Like there was not so much to learn, like to do Figma with. I don't know if the new features they add in Figma are really helpful because in myself, this now you guys can counter me, but like in myself, the same thing I was using 3 years ago is the same thing I'm using now. Auto layout, frame, drag and drop is the same thing. Change color, like asset panel. Like I'm not doing any other thing special. So I'm like all the new things that they're adding, is there really a need for it? Like why? Or are you guys using all the extra features that Figma keeps adding every Figma config?
You mean like removing the complexities from tools, like breaking it down?
No, like generally how complex they grew to become. Like Figma was not this complex before now. Like it was really simple. Like there was no much in it.
Well, I mean, personally, I
Mm.
actually feel like it might not actually make it overly complicated because it would actually make. I don't think Figma would get to that point of like the way Photoshop Beta is now. I don't know if you've seen Photoshop Beta, where they incorporate the AI tool into
Mm.
it, where you can just tell it, okay, do this, do this. I really don't think Figma would want to go to that extent, right? Because we all know that normal UI design, UX design has to do with emotions, right? So probably highest what Figma might do if actually they want to introduce that kind of stuff is probably create like a foundation. You tell the AI, okay, create this and as a foundation, then you yourself will tweak it. You get what I'm trying to say? I think there's a tool for that, just that you can't tweak that one.
Yeah.
I think there's an AI that does that, well, to create new UI designs for you. Then as image is finished, I'm not sure if you can tweak it, but with Figma, I don't think it's going to make it overly complicated, to be honest. I just feel like they might use the whole Photoshop beta framework to build theirs. You
Yeah.
get, so probably they will just bring in contents. Okay, use. I think there is even this thing said there is AI. It's there. Just be GPT.
And it's AI for
Exactly. They just
content
type in.
to fill in like body
Exactly.
description.
So probably the AI they might introduce it to generate color styles instead of you loading plugins from those stuff. I don't know how to do it, to be honest. But if they should incorporate it, I believe it won't make it overly complicated. Instead, it will make life easier. Right? To make life easier. So it will be fun to see how they will.
That will ridicule it.
It's fun to see how they.
It will ridicule a lot of people. So
A lot of
yeah, imagine somebody one day will tell you, oh, the UI UX that you're doing. All I need to do is do 2 weeks boot camp,
people.
then tell one AI to do it
Yeah.
in Figma for me.
And I really
Oh,
don't think
guy,
Figma will want to actually do that, to be honest.
yeah,
If they want to eliminate design, even if they
it's
even bring
like
yourself gone, they will still need design. Developers will still need designers to tweak one or two things. They will still need to tweak one or two things.
yeah, yeah. You will still need designer to take one or two things.
Definitely. And again, you need empathy.
Imagine you take all the data, like imagine Figma, because Figma has Figma community with all the data and all the like things from like legit things that people have
Yeah.
designed, and they use that right to train an AI that can come up with Figma interfaces in Figma with all the information that they've gathered from Figma community that we are basically feeding it. Guy,
Yeah, that's all.
it may be an extra feature in a it may be an extra feature in the company or in a higher end spend, like all these higher end spec for companies that are probably, they want to do a small UI, there's a research, you just pour the research, like convert the document from research from Notion directly into like a document for Figma notes or something, and then it just give you UI
So, so,
designs in Figma that a designer can go there and then tweak the vectors.
so in the case of
God,
updating, like as a company, you come up with new features. How you don't have a designer, you're using AI. Do you think the AI would be able to like come up with new screens that would fit the previous design? I don't know if you understand what I mean. You know the way you have version one, version two, version three, right? You plan on releasing new
yeah.
features. Do you think the AI will be able to like design that screen? Probably you need multiple screens to accommodate that feature. Do you think the AI will be able to? I don't know. They might be able, but I'm not so sure if they will be able to. They'll be few discrepancies.
Clement, you've been using AI a lot. What do you think? I have my thoughts, but I'll wait. What do you think? What do you think, Clement? Like you've been using ChatGPT, right? Me, I've been using it a ton, almost every day. What do you think? Like this thing that this the way Dejavu just explained it.
I highly doubt it.
You doubt?
I think artificial intelligence right now can do a lot of things, but when it comes to UI design, design interface design, there are still a lot of limitations. That's why most of these AI tools that are meant to build out user interfaces are still under scrutiny or heavy testing because they don't function quite well yet. So for an AI tool to be able to build up on past versions for a newer version. I'm not doubting the power of AI. I think it might be possible in the future, but currently there are limitations, and I doubt anything or something of that magnitude right now is possible.
That means in the next 2 years, our jobs are still a bit safe.
Yeah, basically, I believe so.
It could be that the human in us that makes the design is what helps the design to fit other humans, because like there's some things that are intuitive, like no matter the data you collect, common sense will just let you know that this is a human thing. Like I don't know how to explain it, but like you look at some designs and you feel it. This thing should not be here. Like it doesn't make sense. Like an AI cannot make. I don't know an example to give you. I would have given it, except in this situation. But like an AI will not know. But in the sense of like you give an AI version one, two, three, like Dejavu said, and like can it come like with the fourth version? Guy, I believe it's possible with the right environment. Guy, it's possible. Definitely possible. And the last thing on our table, Apple Vision Pro. What are your thoughts? Coming from a design perspective, you're a designer, so you've seen it. I'm sure you've seen it. I have watched a ton of videos from, like, I'm still marveled at some things that they happened and they demoed it, and I'm like, how? Okay, people, before we get back into the episode, I want to tell you about our friends at Pink Summer of Tech. So, getting into tech can be hard, and as you already know, this is a woman led organization. It's pink, for God's sake. In the meantime, they are dedicated to fostering diversity in the tech ecosystem and bringing absolute greatness into learning. Getting into tech can be hard, and how they want to solve this is by bringing you banger premium quality guidance. Their goal is to make sure you are well informed about whatever role you decide to get into it by giving you curated resources that are handpicked specifically for you to avoid all the noise and everything. They are well vetted and properly mapped out content. In addition to all of that is a community of people, a community of women of the sisterhood of some sort that you can bank on to always be with you, to always guide you. And I think that's very important. And I mentioned about community multiple times on these episodes. Lastly, being in tech at the end of the day is to make money. Abby, and with our friends at Pink Summer of Tech, they have one last very important thing, which is a talent pipeline that you can connect to. Something that can make it easy for you to find jobs. At this point, it's a no-brainer if you're a woman in tech not to take part of this opportunity. In the words of Oluwatosin Olaseyinde of Money Africa, she said, "This is the best time to be a black African woman in tech." So in the meantime, check the link in the description to find out more about our friends at Pink Summer of Tech, and don't forget to subscribe to the What's Podcasting newsletter to get updates about all of that. So yeah, I think that's all. Let's get back into the episode. Peace. No, sorry, pink out. That's cringe. Anyway.
It's a very, very nice piece of technology that I would love to actually have. The demo was also very, very interesting. And if everything works as it's, I think it's one of the single pieces of technology that will shape the future of tech design too as well.
How do you think they come up with designs for those kind of things? How do you, like, will it be a new software that you can use to design for like visual spaces, or you will still be using Figma or something, or Blender?
I Yeah, because I saw there's a video I used to follow then when I wanted to get into AR VR design. They did it on Unity. Unity is like Blender.
Oh,
It's something like Blender.
yeah.
The whole process came from Figma down to Unity, then the final product. The stuff was very lengthy and cumbersome. It was stressful, I'd say. And on Figma, you can't possibly get the right amount of accuracy when it comes to AR VR. You have to go into a 3D space like Blender or Unity. You have to use the headsets to get right dimensions and all of that. I don't know the details, but I think based on what I've been reading, that's like very correct. So jumping between Figma, Blender, Figma, Unity, and I know when it comes to AR VR, there's also a lot of motion. So you're going to get into that as well. I think the whole process is very can be very cumbersome. You're going to design a full product on there. Is Figma as a standalone effective? I'd say no. Blender doesn't work well when it comes to user interface design, except you work it out somewhere and bring it down there. But you have to still do a lot of work on Blender. It would be nice if they can be a tool, a middleman.
They have to be a tool that makes it easy to design for VR era, like without having to stress and learning
Yeah, like
everything.
exactly. Just for AR, VR, it can feel like Figma and still feel like a 3D space. You can do a lot there.
Yeah.
Since Spline, but I've never used Spline.
I've tried it before. Kind of fair. It's a fair game. I've seen what Liz has done with Spline. Not so bad. There's a colleague of mine that did this animation thing that you can like expand. That, like, there's one time on Apple website where you open the laptop and it's like you open it into, like, as it's opening, it's like you're entering into the laptop. That kind of animation. Like, she was able to do that with Spline, where you open the laptop and then it just zooms in like the globe of the world. I don't know if you understand. What are you working on?
I was watching some videos on stakeholder presentation and all of that. I want to enter senior roles.
Wow, no one truly leave us for the street though.
There was one job I applied to. It said senior UX designer. I know I'm nothing here is senior, but I still went to apply like a
Hmm.
daring who I am. And funny enough, I'm at the final stage right now and it's shocking.
Are you serious?
My biggest I'm not joking. My biggest fear is if I get the job, would I be able to communicate? replicate this senior designer mentality? Will I be able to perform? That's my biggest fear because I've been spending all night going through a bunch of resources on what does a senior UX designer do? How do they approach design
Uh,
and all of that? And so a lot of things are obviously different. So those are the things I'm trying to catch up on and get accustomed to, just in case I pass this final phase. But if I don't, I've evidently learned a lot.
guy, like, wait,
Yeah,
wait, wait. What is your portfolio looking like? Send me a link to your portfolio, the one you used to apply for this particular role.
but it's pretty basic, Shabbat.
Send it. Now, so that I talk, it's pretty big. Now, the form humble. Clement, send the link to me. Let me see how it looks like. And the resume you used to apply yourself. Because I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm doing everything wrong, wrong.
For like, I've been applying since December last year.
Jesus.
December, yes, now. December last year, January, February, I got the job. I'm currently still there, but it's not looking. It's looking like their money wants to finish, and that's a big red flag. I'm not going to wait around for that. So I stopped applying that February when I got the job. Then when I started noticing they were getting a bit late on payments,
Mm,
I was like, I can't wait for them. So that April period, I started applying again. April, May, I just go around applying. So I have one interview on Monday. I don't know how that one will go. Then this one,
come,
he sent me a take home assignment.
come. Where you dey see the jobs for where you dey apply for? I be they use Juju.
I did groups, so no, I did some groups. Sometimes someone will just drop vacancy is here, vacancy is here. This particular one, someone sends the link. I said, let me apply. I saw senior UX designer, 5+ years experience. I don't even have up to two. Okay, April made it two. But I said, any IB, let me flex it.
Ah.
Although my resume says three, sha. That's a very soft line, but they'll never know.
You see, that's a very soft
They
line.
will never know. Let
They
me
will
drop
never
it on
know.
that
Guy,
side.
wait, did you ever change your location on LinkedIn?
Yes, but LinkedIn didn't have anything to do with the jobs. Sure.
Oh,
I've
okay.
not gotten any. I've never gotten it from LinkedIn so far.
These groups that you are in, are they like WhatsApp groups or like from where?
Yeah, this one is a WhatsApp.
Is
It's,
it
it's
HCD?
no, it's not UCD. It is design with ropes, something like that.
I don't know that WhatsApp group plenty for designers. Man.
I say I'm not gonna join anyone again, but someone recommended this one, so I just joined. Just on their job part of the community. Anything I see I apply to that makes sense.
Yeah, I just dey see
Eventually.
the designs where you get for here. So you get like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you are listening to this on audio, sorry, 1, 2, 3, and then you have like basically UI shots. One, two, guys, this one
No,
6, 9. This is 9. This is
those
11.
those
Guys.
case studies are me though. I don't even know how those things entice those guys because I know these case studies they are not very solid. They're just things I did on the fly. I didn't go too deep inside.
Guy, it also
They are telling me they.
so wait, you didn't go to how deep do you want to enter before?
I've seen some case studies now. When you see some case studies, you be like, it was very detailed. Those process is mad, everything, recovery down to handoff and development and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But these ones, let me even see this one. Everything here should be passion projects, and none is an actual life project right now. Except this one I said coming soon. I'm actually
Mm.
working on it for the company I'm working
No matter how mid you think this thing is, I think the way you present them is what is selling it mostly. Guy, like it's beautifully presented. Like that is something that I'm seeing here that is awesome. So this what's it called? Uniting old friends effortlessly. Guy, from the presentation of the design, having to see it like with the glass thing you did around it, it's beautiful. I don't like. I'm not
Yeah,
even.
I noticed. I actually that's one thing I also like to tell some of my colleagues. Presentation can blind people sometimes too.
I swear.
Sometimes if you make your presentation stand out very much. I go on Behance, I go on Dribble to see how people present their work. The ones that stand out, I just note them down, I save them, I go and replicate. Sometimes the design might not make sense, but the presentation will bang and
Yeah, like presentation will
just
bang and
just
then
like
everybody believes Dejavu is not listening to this. He may hear this later, but like the AI stuff that he did with the auto send money, I don't think I will
yeah.
ever use my audio to send money to somebody. Hey, which I could do mistake.
You say five, say 15 naira, I go send five 500. In fact, me no be good that side. So.
I say just but yet like the whole presentation around it is just so beautiful that you can't just stop or like imagine like this is nice. This is
Yeah,
yeah, and maybe I need to go and work. I need to actually work on my presentation. That is it.
I've seen a lot of dope ideas, but poor presentation, and you might not get to the right audience when the presentation is bad. You can frame it well and add a lot of this. My portfolio self, it's not complete.
What
I still feel I have to add a lot of stuff to it.
what else do you want to
I
add,
feel the
Alec?
best, maybe one more case study that makes actual sense, and that's a live product, and that's a live product.
You see
Because the
one
rest are just,
see
and I
one
want to
more
really like this one here that says revamping shop up, and that's where I currently work with.
yeah.
And there's a case study I'm working on for one of their products. I want to really present it in such a way that it makes sense like the others, but then there's now a live product that's the end side that buttresses the whole design thinking process.
Mm.
So that would be like the only case study that I had like seven. Oh. I removed like
Why
I
they remove
those
am
those three were
mid?
they were yeah mid. Even me, I don't like them. I just said let me keep this let me keep this four that are manageable. I think one thing that really stood out to the company I applied for. I read their job description and I noticed they're looking for someone in e-commerce. So I went back to my portfolio and touched on some things. I made it look like I was some e-commerce guru
Yeah.
because obviously Shopperban is e-commerce. So I said, let me sell myself with this particular place I'm working at now. I think that was the wisest thing for me to do because during the interviews, you could tell the guy was really interested in this company I was working for. Wanted to see stuff I've done regarding it and all of that. I also made it when you're talking about stuff, you try to make it revolve around the
Mhm.
e-commerce space. Sell yourself in that aspect.
Did you use ChatGPT
For
when you were writing all of this, like the presentation during the process of applying? Did you use ChatGPT to revamp anything to make it sound more professional?
my
Hey people, what's podcasting is a newsletter that I actually went to started because finding an interesting podcast to listen to can be a hustle. So we decided to create a list of the interesting podcasts that we listen to over the week and send them out to people who also love listening to podcasts and specifically for people who know or who want to make podcasts. We have interesting updates or interesting bits on how to make the perfect and good podcast and also the interesting podcast to listen to. So check the link in the description to get access to that newsletter for free. It's not going to be free always, so In the meantime, peace out. Bye.
how did I even know? I think the application was very straightforward. Just your name, your resume, and the link to your portfolio. I didn't really use words. I just were just entries to these things. But for the other job, they won't have an interview. Yeah, I have a cover letter template. I think I got it from Twitter one time. I don't know even where I got it from. Just put my portfolio link there, put my resume, attach my resume, and just apply. They are a design agency, so I guess they are mostly interested in my design shots and not my case studies.
Oh,
I think they are Indian or actually they are not Nigerian. Sha. Nigerian jobs don't tire me. This shopper band don't stress my life. Guy, I suffer no be small.
see, I saw this one.
Guy,
Which kind of work you dey do?
I did
If you know why like design, you go dey
yes
design.
now I did design, but a lot of things they vex me for there. One day I will talk about how useless some CEOs are. Because how I go dey design, I'll come back come fine. You don't comot wetin I don design. I'm like what?
Why now? I no dey like that
That's
thing,
in a
guy.
pain now.
Like you can tell me, just tell me what you
Yes,
want to
exactly.
not be there.
At the
Don't remove it.
I talk tire, I talk tire at the point. I say anything wey dis guy want to make do. I'll just be designing this stuff. I will not go back to old designs. Oh. So this coupled with the fact that they are not even paying on time anymore. I said let me move on, Jerry. I've done 4 months, I'll be 5 months. I can't stay myself.
Yeah, I feel you. I hate that thing, guy. Like when you don't design finish and you see you go just come because say you get access to the design file, delete something. and tell you that like you don't want it. And you know, as a designer, sometimes you will see the design, you know that something is missing, and sometimes you can't
Exactly.
even exactly
That
tell
is
where it's missing
painful,
from.
man.
It's, I
What I
swear,
even
you just start look at it like
what I even started
this is not
doing
what I
after like
designed.
some weeks was that anything I designed, if I designed a flow, I created another file and called it the name, then added draft. So I just copy it and paste it there just in case they decide to move mad or anything. So if they didn't tally, eh, I'll replace it. So I think working with these guys really opened my mind to a lot of things like handling conflicts with the team and stuff. Because I was even asked that by these guys, and it came in useful. Although I did not say the truth, sure. I don't handle conflicts the way I handle it here. You know. If you come out something, I put on back. I'm not gonna say it for interview. For interview, I go talk another thing, like say
Na
I'm a
you
better person. I no be so. It's crazy, sure.
na dem be CEO, na dem get company.
If this job clicks, I'll be very happy because I don't to suffer. I don't reach 2 years. I never see work. Like when I say work, I mean better work.
Ah,
I remember when I applied to Kuda Bank last year. I applied to Kuda Bank last year.
okay.
Last year, August, I mean July. I passed their this thing, so I passed their assessment, their tests. Is interview reached? Interview time came. I was about to join the call, then I saw like 9, 10 people on the call.
Ah,
As a newbie, that was scary for me. I didn't join. I left.
are you serious?
I'm not even joking. Dejavu knows now. So the guy came to my email and was like, "Is anything wrong? What's the problem?" I let like some minutes pass. I let 1 hour pass, and then I replied him. I told him, I was scared though. I was anxious. He said, no Allah, that we could reschedule. He said we should reschedule. We rescheduled. That day came. I mustered up courage. I entered. I just did drink water like really. I lost my voice. Omo, bro, after the whole thing,
Guy,
they now sent me rejection. That rejection pay me because it pay me, John. It pay me. Like,
ah,
why would you make me come back? Then still give me reject, serve me breakfast. That's a pay me.
you went, they
And,
called you back to serve you.
and one of my colleagues was there. Oh. One of my friends, she's a staff there. She just did for background there. Oh, it was mad. I don't suffer for this tech. Mad, like, I even does this thing work. I know be senior designer, so
Yeah, are you cost?
let's just pray, sha.
At least you don't enter final stage, you dey follow senior designer drag go.
Na achievement,
That
sha.
one na
Hope
achievement.
see as it be.
Dejavu where you go?
Dejavu na really.
Guy, Clement just dey tell me about him predicaments when he don't see shege for this text.
Yeah, yeah. The Kuda stuff, yeah.
This guy laughed me that time, eh?
They stab.
Guy,
When people they look for job, my guy they stab. Oh, Lord, you guys get my
guy, I
you know,
swear, he say
Yeah,
he
if
dey
na you,
shy,
no be wrong.
dey shy. Ah, Sapa go soon comot that shame.
Why 9 people go dey interview?
I no go
wait,
run.
but normally,
Nine. I
but
fear, oh,
normally
guy.
that kind of interview process, fresh now. Because you just pack 10 people inside call. When me I
You
was
see,
going to rent money, I mean people they call now only King David and Shell and 1 PM they call. After that one, I mean people they again. I had series of calls and we were not up to I was the third person in each of those calls, right? The final call was just me and the PM
bro.
finish. Why you could just pack like that? Why you could pack up to 5 people say?
I dey shake.
But it does not help now.
Guy,
How many people are you trying to do this? Is there one that will ask them questions? Very, very good.
And I've done interviews after then. I've done interviews after then. It's usually one-on-ones or
Uh-huh.
just at most two
they
people.
want multitask.
This one I saw 9 people on the call.
What's that designers like? See this thing.
I did not show up. I will not be showing up. They did not see me.
The Kuda people, they want multitask, you know. They want keep plenty stones in one bed.
I wanted to be sure because I saw the names initially.
Ah,
I said, let me check them on LinkedIn. I was seeing marketing, I was seeing sales, I was seeing different departments. Why?
it's
What do
group
they want to
interview.
check? Are we? I don't understand.
Why is marketing on the call?
I don't
Oh,
know.
So all those kind of company, I don't do
Customer service,
that
everything.
kind of thing, me, I go enter.
it.
Oh. Ah,
Like,
could bounce in. Who dey? What's up? How are you, all of you? Good evening, good morning.
You
I
you know
go
boss
any
now.
question wey you wan ask me, make you ask me. If I no sabi, I go talk wetin dey my mind. At the end of the day, if they go reject me, they go reject me. So
They shall not for call me back if they see one serve me breakfast. I've not forgiven them. I commot their app from my phone. Rubbish.
are you serious?
But anytime I see Kuda Bank, I remember. It's very vivid. The breakfast pay me. Pay me.
Guy, for the work for Kuda now. Anyways,
How much did they pay them? You know, go past 500K.
ah, for this economy, you know how many liters of fuel is that?
And they okay, sure, but 500K now.
Banks no dey pay pass 500K now. Like that's
No go the comparison
their
with
money.
banks. So use your other tech bros and do comparison. No go use bank. Your mates they collect 4M monthly. I beg.
Make Sapa no dey press my neck. Guy, to be honest, I think we finished this discussion for this night. The Apple Vision Pro, my own thoughts on it is good, right? But like I Apple has a way of selling bullshit to people. Like Apple has good PR and good marketing. Apple can sell you the most bland plain thing and you will buy it because they are Apple. And I think that's what they did with the Apple Vision Pro. Like, it's nice, it's very good, it has all the features you want. But like Quest 2 has the same features. I have not used Quest 2, but looking at papers, looking for what like papers, I'm looking at the Verge, all these guys. It's the same, almost the same features, just like their own is better because it's Apple. And what are like the long term effects of having a camera and like all those lights very close to your eye? Guy, you go get eye problem by the time you finish using that thing for like a year.
That's why I think they did not launch it now. They said 2024. Let them finish their research first. They will update us on what's up.
Yeah, people go dey get eye problem in the future. Optimistic and people wey dey make eyeglass will make money. A lot of people will go partially blind because of computer. At this point, people of God, it's 3 a.m. And for people who are listening to this pod, we've entertained you enough. You go and pray and sleep. Yeah, making babies. Good luck to you. At this time, we close the bridge to people listening. As you subscribe and listen, we leave you I want to
Yes.
also
Yes.
remind you check the description, check the links in the description to learn more about our friends at Pink Summer of Tech, the What's Podcasting newsletter. In the meantime, see you in the next episode. Peace out.